fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Go Time Dolphins. Obviously, thanks to everyone who joined our last episode. We spoke about Tua Tagovailoa and essentially his base contract being $55 million following the signing of Trevor Lawrence and his deal. This week, this episode, we will be talking about Conor Williams potentially being ready for the start of the season and whether or not the Dolphins should bring him back. If you are listening on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, you will not notice, because you haven't heard his voice yet, but I am not with Charlie Touche. Charlie Touche, or 5 Yard Lee, thank you for joining me. He says thank you. He is currently predisposed. He's alive. He's all good. He should be back in a few days' time. But 5 Yard Lee, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing very good. Welcome, Cap, just a person I want to speak to very quickly. Sorry for any confusion in the last episode. I know you wasn't having to go at me in terms of Miami Dolphin fans not being from Miami. It's just that I always get my back up a little bit when I see that comment. But I know that you obviously never meant anything offensive by it. And yeah, I have an episode with two guys from London. So before we delve into anything, I will not be doing the intro. That is Charlie's job and Charlie's job only. I am not going to delve into that. For those who don't know, Lee is from they just released an episode with myself and Andy Davis talking about a whole bunch of things, including Lee. Tell us what we spoke about.
Well, first of all, we spoke about your trip to Miami. That's where we kicked off.
We did. Weeks 1 and 2, Jacksonville Jaguars and Buffalo Bills. I'll be at both those games, so stay tuned for some potential Go Time Dolphins stuff we will be doing. It's going to be so much fun. Cap says, I want to go to London, bro. Lee, weren't you in London on Monday?
Yeah, I was in London. I wasn't far from you on Monday. And it was funny. I was trying to think. I was looking out over London and thinking, it's funny, isn't it? The Dolphins have played here a bunch of times, but the memories aren't necessarily great, as we mentioned on the show the other day. But we did have that one decent win over the Raiders here, where everything went crazy before Joe Philbin lost his job.
It's funny as well because we watched the game together the last time the Dolphins were in London, sat next to each other in the press box, and that moment where it's kind of like, oh, they've lost. Like that, it was heartbreaking, but also heartwarming to go through that with you. Because
I think we started trying to keep each other's spirits up when we heard Xavier Howard and Byron Jones were down on the morning of the game as we were arriving at the stadium. It was like, we might have a problem here.
Which, to be fair, given that the Dolphins kept that game close, it's absolutely mental. Cap says Kadeem will be living the life in Fort Lauderdale. Listen, my first time in Miami, 5 Yard Lee goes there every single year without fail. He will be my tour guide when Charlie isn't around. Lee, what are your experiences of Miami so far?
Dude, I love Miami. If I could move to Miami, I'd be there today. Like, you get me on. You tell me I could get on a flight now. I'd head to the airport right now. Tell my family to meet me out there. I think you brought it up the other day again on our show when you mentioned it's going to be some experience when you go out there and see Hard Rock for the first time. Like, I remember my first time walking into Hard Rock Stadium. Like, I hadn't gone there as a Dolphins fan. I'd gone there to see football for the first time in person. And I just remember walking out, seeing the field for the first time and just becoming like instantly hooked with it. Like every year I get back from Miami and think, man, it's expensive. Like, can I keep, should I skip next year? As soon as the schedule's out, like, I'm planning my next trip. Like, every time.
Especially the way things are going. Like, I think tickets for the London game go in general sale tomorrow, and I know some people who live outside of London. Essentially, once they factor in ticket costs, hotel costs, travel costs, all that kind of stuff, they literally say it's much easier to just go to the States and watch a team. Like, that's where things are getting a couple of hundred for tickets. Price, it's crazy. So I know for a fact I'm kind of in that ballpark where you are now, where basically, I'd much rather go to a Miami game or two than one London game. Although we were both in Germany together, and I can assume we'll both be in Spain together if the Dolphins are in Spain next year.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they come here, obviously we're going to go see them play. Like that's a given. I think it's safe to say, although we are fans of the NFL as well, we're not going to go to a London game and miss a Dolphins play instead. That's not the way it works. So if it fits in, we're going to do that. Like I know there are strong rumors that the Dolphins may be a team heading for Spain next year. Like if that happens, definitely be in Spain because it's on our doorstep. But that's not going to stop a trip to Miami at the same time.
Yeah. I can imagine Hannah will be like, "We just went to Spain to watch them." It's like, yes, and now we're both going to Miami. That's the way it works.
Exactly.
Cap says if we need a tour guide, he's got us or he's got me. I would like to assume that means for you as well, but thank you very much. But to today's topic, Conor Williams went down with the Tennessee game.
Yeah.
It was Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee Monday Night Football. We all know how that game ended. And Conor Williams is an interesting case study in the sense that when you picked him up, not last season, the season before, he came to the Dolphins as like one of the best left guards in football. And the Dolphins said, "Cool, we're going to move you to center." Which is only something the Dolphins could do. But he proved, minus a few snap issues, that he is one of the best centers in football. Fast forward to season just gone, gets injured, and it looked like he wouldn't be healthy until the season. So the Dolphins obviously went out and got kind of Aaron Brewer, made sure that at the very least they have someone to snap the ball when the season starts. Today being Wednesday, Adam Schefter tweets that former Cowboys and Dolphins free agent center Conor Williams, who is coming off season-ending knee surgery, expects to be ready for the start of the season and is in discussions with multiple teams about where to play in 2024. He goes on to say that he plans to, once this loads, let's hurry up. He plans to pick his new team before training camp begins. So, IMAX asked, is Williams healthy? At the moment, no, but he will be soon. And then Cap for Life asked Connor or Eichenberg. So,
Brewer.
5-yard lead. Okay, so Brewer's top of the list. What are your thoughts on bringing back Conor Williams?
I think it's a no-brainer because he's got that versatility to play left guard at a high level. We know we need cover at center because if you sustain an injury, we can't afford the drop off that we had last year. I didn't think Liam Eichenberg was a disaster at center last year. I got to be honest. I think he surprised me. I was worried when he was going to be playing there. When he did play there, I don't think you could pin entire losses on Conor Williams playing at center. But I would rather if Aaron Brewer or Conor Williams got hurt, the other one was playing. Do you know what I mean? So, and when you think of Conor Williams, you mentioned how well he's played at left guard. He's also one of the was highly recruited out of college as a left tackle. So he just gives you supreme cover on the entire left side of the offensive line. And with all the injuries he suffered last year, to me, it's just a no-brainer to bring back that sort of talent. But going back to one of the comments we just had.
Whoa. Breaking news. Mr. Charlie Touche, hello and welcome. I did not expect this.
Hey, good morning, fellas. Good morning. Can y'all hear me?
We
can hear you.
What up, Lee?
How's it going?
Hey, listen, man, I can't stay long. I gotta work. Unfortunately, I work 12-hour shifts, 72 hours a week. And I got the notification that Go Time Dolphins was going live without me. Like, I'm like, what's going on here? But I had to pop up real quick. One, to thank you for covering for me, Lee. And I heard y'all talking about going to South Florida. What's up? What we doing? Are we sitting by each other or what?
Absolutely.
So what's the word, Kadeem? How we gonna do this?
I believe 5 Yard Lee will get in touch with his representatives and then get us an extra ticket for what? Charlie, what game are you coming to? Jags, Bills, both?
Jacksonville.
So week 1. So we need an extra ticket times 3. Myself, Hannah, and Charlie for Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then me and then we got some pictures to take, Kadeem, so we could do all the flicking up and all the good stuff. Couple photo shoots.
Photos. Listen, I've been saying for ages we need to do a Go Time Dolphins Go Time remix. Like if
Go Time Dolphins remix.
If there's ever a time in Miami, like no pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Hey, let's shoot a video in 2 months. No pressure. I think I don't know. You know, the weather is funny in Miami, bro. Like, you might not get that video weather that you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we might plan a video, and the next thing you know, it's raining. So we're gonna be looking like, well, I was gonna say Diddy, but no Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna be in the rain. You know what I'm saying? Shooting a video. I don't know how that's gonna work out. But yeah, man, like, it's crazy. I feel like I just woke up, bro. I feel like it's like I don't feel right, man. But nah, I just want to say what's up, y'all boys.
Before you shoot off, Conor Williams returned to Miami. Yes or no?
Absolutely, bro. I seen that I seen that yesterday, I think, or earlier today, that he'll be available. I'm like, I wonder how much of that is trying to get the word on the street, and I should be close to being available, but as opposed to return to play and return to performance are 2 different things. What you think, Lee?
I think it's amazing how when injuries occur and when the off-season starts, it's, hey, I'm going to take my time when I'm ready. I'm going to pick where I want to go. Then when you haven't got a job at this time of year, it's like, don't worry, guys, I'm going to be healthy. Don't forget I'm here. So, but yeah, I'm completely with you. Look, it's not about having, to me, you sign Conor Williams because he has talent. You sign him because he can play the entire left, center to left tackle. You have cover. You can. It allows for multiple different lineups to get your best starting 5 out there. But also with the moves they've made so far, if he's not ready till 2 or 3 weeks in the season, I can live with it because my goal here is to be healthy at the end of the season. So I don't need to rush him back.
Yeah, that's a great take right there. I think. And you don't know what you're going to get when you get him back. But the line is pretty decent right now. If he comes back to give you anything, that is a super plus. And someone's going to get hurt anyway. It's just life. It's the NFL. Someone's going to go down. And to have Conor as one of the pieces in the mix, I think it's great. And everything you just said, like, yo, you don't have to rush him back. And then if he does give you something and he looks real good and he's looking good, we'll be in a pretty good place.
It feels like a good spot as well if you're trying to ease someone back in to do it with Teron Armstead on one side and Aaron Brewer the other. That feels like a good spot to go back into.
I like it. What you think, Adu?
I was kind of on a thanks but no thanks vibe. I think, and again, it's nothing to do with what I know he can do. It's what am I going to get from you? And I'm not comfortable with chucking someone out there who is finding his way back to fitness and form and keeping my $55 million quarterback upright. Like, and I get it. There's definitely an argument to say that a 50% healthy Conor Williams is better than some of the offensive linemen will put out next season due to injuries. I completely get that. I think I was leaning towards that until Lee said that, well, one, you don't need to rush him. 2, if you put him in between Aaron Brewer and Teron Armstead, that's probably going to be fine, assuming that Teron Armstead stays healthy. But also, it might be a situation where because of his experience at left tackle, you don't need to rush Patrick Paul at left tackle. So you can say, you know what, you aren't quite ready. Want to give you a bit more time, a bit more seasoning. So Conor Williams play left tackle. It's not Tua's blind side. So listen, I'm 50-50. I won't be, knocking down any doors if we don't sign him. I can see the plus and negatives of, whatever the Dolphins decide to do.
Lastly, he knows all the plays, bro. He knows everything. He knows the system. Like, this is a plug and play, literally. So it's cool.
He probably also helps Aaron Brewer get up to speed in the system. Like, we've seen how athletic he is, but there's still a fairly steep learning curve there. So having a guy that played the position last year at a high level can only be a benefit to have him in the room, even if he's not, 100% come week one.
Hey,
yeah,
it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond but across the world. I'm your boy Charlie Touche. Got my co-host Kadeem Simmons with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Kadeem didn't do the intro, and he thought I didn't know. I don't know what he was on, but you know what I'm saying? That's where we at, man. I'm about to get up out of here, y'all boys.
So one very last thing, very, very quick.
What we got?
Florida Panthers, what are you doing? What are you doing? Listen, don't throw away your 3-0 lead. Like, you have one job. Close it out.
I'm not gonna lie. I would. This is the type of stuff that I wish on my enemies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait till Boston let somebody come back 3-0 from 0-3 on them. I can't wait to see Ohio State lose up 40 or something like that. You know what I'm saying, bro? Y'all seen the Matrix? I put this on Twitter the other day. Y'all seen the Matrix? And I don't remember. Switch. It is Switch. Switch. Who do you remember the dude who went rogue?
Cypher.
Boy, look at Kadeem on it, boy. Kadeem got his Matrix.
My movie.
Well, hey, so Cypher went rogue, and started killing people, and then Switch was like, not like this, bro. And that's the gift I shared on X. Like, not like this, bro. Like, don't give me 3-0 and then have me thinking about, are we gonna have the parade in the rain? Are we gonna have no shirts on, just celebrating? You feel me? Like, what's it gonna look like? Are we gonna have the parade on the beach? Matter of fact, that's probably where we're gonna have the Florida Panthers parade, on Fort Lauderdale Beach. Bro, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I'm sick, bro. I'm sick to my stomach. When I seen Conor McDaviding, I just knew we were in trouble, bro. This is not good for the game.
It's going to be even sweeter when you get there, man. Like, what was it last year when the Heat almost threw away a 3-0 lead to Boston, and then went up and won in Boston?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's going to be even sweeter when you get there. Once you win, it won't matter how.
No, listen. I haven't been able to watch the games, right? So every single game of the series, I've only seen the end, like the last period of every single game because of work. So yesterday, I'm like, yo, I'm working. I'm not going to be able to see us win the championship, but I promise you this. I just want the championship. I don't have to witness it. If it means I have to sacrifice my excitement and enjoyment of watching us celebrate, I will take one for the team, literally. Like, yo, I didn't get to see it, but we brought home the cup. You know what I'm saying? Lord Stanley Cup. And then we lost. I'm like, bro, I don't want to fly all the way to wherever they play, Alberta, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, no, bro. Game 6, Connor McDavid, bro, this man's going to create his legacy with us? Nah, bro, I don't want no part of it. And I hope they do it, because if it comes down to game 7, 1, I got to take a day off just to watch that game. And 2, I might put all my money on the Oilers winning. That way it's a win-win for me. Like, yo, because this is not good for the game, man.
not good at all. Charlie, thanks. Excellent surprise. Did not expect it. Thanks so much. I'm saying bye to you. Like this isn't your show. Like I don't know what's going on.
We here, but I would appreciate if Kadeem will learn the intro. You know what I'm saying? We got affiliates that we gotta make happy. But Fire Ali, thank you, sir. Kadeem,
Nice to see you, man.
appreciate everybody in the chat, in the comments, man. You already know. Already.
Look at that. That's how it did not. I'm just sitting there going, Kadeem, Father Lee, la la. It's like, yo, that's Charlie in the background. Like, it's like a wrestling thing. Is that Charlie Touche music? And yeah, so that was Charlie Touche for giving us his thoughts on Conor Williams. I feel bad saying no to Conor Williams, and not because like I said, it's not he's not a bad player. It's more just a case of I can't afford for you to be a second slow and get Tua sacked. And again, I get it. Like I said, potentially a 50% Conor Williams is better than some of the guys we'll put out there. But that split second in the NFL and not protecting Tua could be different between a sack, a touchdown, a first down, worse. So, am I tripping?
Yeah, I mean, look, his upside when fully healthy is enough to take you all the way. If you'd had a Conor Williams type player when Conor Williams went down, we would have looked a lot better coming into the season. Like I say, I didn't pin losses on Leon Eichenberg playing center, but look, there was still a steady drop off in talent between the two. So I also think you make a really good point there about like the value. The Dolphins now sit in a position where they don't have to overpay. If they get Conor Williams back, it's going to be at a price they feel is good because they brought in an Aaron Burrow. Like, I don't think they are sitting there maybe the same as we are as fans going, hey, look, we'll just take as much O-line talent as possible. I think they really do feel fairly comfortable. So if they can get Conor back on something they feel is team friendly, then it happens. And then I think we can all feel good about it.
I think there's definitely an argument to be made to Conor that's like, the system, the players, will give you a 1-year team friendly deal, not get you back up to health, but if you want to test the market after, you are more than welcome to. We aren't going to hold you. But also, we mentioned how Conor Williams has depth or provides depth, but also versatility in that left-hand side. Aaron Brewer also played guard. I think if the Dolphins do bring back Conor Williams, it allows you to go, you know what, we really will go best five available. And if we have to play Conor Williams at center and kick Aaron Brewer to left guard, so be it. We will do it.
That has to be the goal, doesn't it? Just start the best five. And I think Mike McDaniel is brave is probably the wrong word, but smart enough to do that. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to say, oh, well, one of you's going to have to sit because the other guy's starting the center. We're going to get the top five out here. So, like you say, we know Tehran's probably going to miss games. Like, it's inevitable. History just says he's going to miss games. But the ability to possibly play a Conor Williams out there later in the year could be huge. Having someone who is actually, I've got high hopes of Patrick Paul. I know most people don't, but I actually really like the situation in which to train him and bring him on. I'm not saying like seeing him out there week one. That is not something I really want to see. But I think it's a perfect situation to learn from a Teron Armstead and to bring him along and have him be the eventual replacement. I can absolutely see him follow the plan. If Teron Armstead goes down, I'd love to have options out there rather than saying, well, time to go in, boys. Like, this is it. Yeah. Like, next man up, like, it's fine. But I'd rather have to be able to select the next man in.
Not that it matters too much. And not because we don't care, but, it kind of is. You got to do what's best for the team. Conor Williams does return. What do you do with someone like Liam Eichenberg, a free agent next year? Again, has shown that versatility across the line. Has performed in better positions than others. not saying is he a trade candidate, but does the return of Conor Williams and his place in the depth chart essentially signal the end of Liam Eichenberg's time in Miami? And again, who like the chance that he'll still get playing time, but does that kind of say to you, while you were our backup center last year, you know, they're just better out there. So thanks. You know, we'll keep it this year and then off you go next year.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the fact that he's always been team friendly in regards of willingness to play other positions, which I still think has been probably a detriment to his overall career up until this point. I think we'll always hold him in good stead. I think they will always see him as a team first player. In that manner, like if you said to Liam Eichenberg right now, we need to play right tackle, you know he's going to go line up there, and we might not all think that the performances are always great, but I think we can all agree he's always out there giving 100%. And I think it probably goes a long way with the front office, having a guy that's that versatile. Bearing in mind that if you replace him, you're still going to try and replace him with a versatile piece because you're not replacing like for like as a starter. So, yeah, you'd love to upgrade, but chances are you're bringing in another piece that you can move around. So I don't know if anything signals the end. I mean, he's obviously going to be one of those guys that hits free agency. He's going to have kind of options. But I always believe that I think the Dolphins will be one of those things that will make sure there's a contract on the table and say, look, if you want it, come back. Like, at this price, like, we have you back. They're not getting into any sort of bidding war or anything. Just, we know you. We know what you've done for us in the past. Like, so I think that holds value.
Yeah. Before we get into bonus time, or we can start in bonus time and finish it on the other side of bonus time. Just a quick reminder that obviously follow us on social media. We have Instagram, TikTok. TikTok's a bit slow at the moment, but that will ramp up as this, preseason and the season nears. Obviously Twitter at GoTime Dolphins, all the good places. If you haven't already, leave a like on this video, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and then we also have a Patreon. Feel free to subscribe over there. I think our next episode will be myself and 5 Yard Lee talking about the merits of Calais Campbell, because I know 5 Yard Lee is a massive, massive fan. But it wouldn't be a Go Time Dolphins episode without talking about Tua Tagovailoa. Tom Pelissero spoke today, I believe it is, or definitely in the last few days, about the Tua contract. And basically, I believe he was saying that that the Dolphins do want to get a deal done essentially as soon as possible. If you're able to talk about it, what do you make of that whole conversation about should he get paid more than Trevor Lawrence?
I think it's just always inevitable, isn't it? When it comes to this point, when you get quarterbacks that are similar, it almost becomes that next man up gets paid the most. Do you know what I mean? It's not that each one is trying to reset the market. I think Tua, this is one of the few times where I think Tua knows his worth and is really looking to actually make the most out of it rather than just kind of towing the line, because I think he's always real friendly with the media and stuff. I think when we saw him at OTAs, that was the first time I think we saw people refer to one of those interviews last year as salty Tua. This time, I think he was actually pissed off. Like, I think he was actually sick of answering questions about it in the media, especially to people who he knows are writing the articles of, does he deserve this? Should he earn it? Like, it's such a weird perspective because none of us will ever do that. Like, if you go in tomorrow and want more money from your boss, it's not going to be broken down in the paper the next day or on the news that evening. Do you know what I mean? It's really weird. But like, I know Tua is obviously a lightning rod of a topic for most people, but I think anytime you can have this many people arguing over this guy's better or this guy's better, it just means they're all really close. It means there's not one that's really it means that they're closer than you'd probably like to admit. but I think being the last one up to is probably going to get that sort of deal. I think he's earned it. Like, I think leading number one offense over an entire season is not easy to do. I think he's got better every year. I think he's improved substantially in a different area each year, and it shows the kind of growth where there is still more growth to come. Like, he's not topped out at maximizing his talent. I think that's exciting, but I think it also, that's how these contracts are done. It's not really done on what you've done for me, but it's what we see as your potential in the future. So, I think there's an element of prediction in there. And at the moment, this is the most stable of an offense he's ever been in going into year 3. He'd never had someone 2 years in a row. What's he going to be like 3 years in a row? Last year he was excellent. It was obviously all about health and staying healthy. There was a lot said a couple of weeks ago about him dropping the weight to get more elusive and get some of the speed back. It's interesting because it shows he took multiple steps to try and keep healthy, because the goal here was keep healthy. So he did the jiu-jitsu. He put on the weight as well. Well, now he's saying, based on what I saw last year, based on the tape, we all saw it, the jiu-jitsu played a huge role in keeping him safe. So now I feel like I can lose some of the weight and try and expand my game again that way. I think it's excellent. It means he covered every base in trying to achieve a goal last year, and this year he's now trying to move his game on even more. So maybe we see that same Tua that shook Buda Baker in that first Arizona Cardinals game. What was it? Game 2 of his rookie season?
Played the Rams. So I think it was his second start. Would have been his
second
third
start,
game.
yeah.
And he came in against the Jets. Yeah. I'm going to be a pain, and I'm going to give you my comments on the other side of bonus time. Last episode, I gave a riddle. Should have asked Charlie for the answer, but I will ask the riddle to you now. If you know the answer, drop the answer in the comments. And Lee, let's see if you can get the riddle. So, each morning I appear to lie at your feet. All day I will follow, no matter how fast you run. Yet I nearly perish in the midday sun. What am I?
Do you want an answer?
I will get your answer at the start of bonus time. So, thank you for joining us. Charlie, ignore my outro. I'm not going to try and do the outro because, again, I don't want you out of a job. It's not fair. I don't want to have to Aaron Brewer to your Conor Williams, come in, do your job, and you don't get back. So, for 5 Yard Lee, myself, Kadeem Simmons, thank you for joining us this time. Make sure you catch us next time. That was the outro. To be actually fair, I just done the outro. So yeah, see you in a sec. Peace.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time, and it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time, cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time, and it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
So that riddle again. Each morning I appear to lie at your feet. All day I will follow, no matter how fast you run. Yet I nearly perish in the midday sun. What am I? Lee, what's the answer?
Your shadow?
I don't have the correct. No, we'll do it anyway. Yep, your shadow. Fairly easy, not too difficult. That's not a riddle, that's a joke. Yeah. Some of these riddles are like, so I'm looking at riddles right now. Here's a riddle. What does a male sheep do when he is angry?
Go on.
He goes on a rampage. But that's a joke, not a riddle. Like,
that is a joke.
And okay. I guess you can kind of say, well, a joke is a riddle, but I want something that gets you thinking. So Okay, yeah. We'll answer this one on the next episode. But I'll say it now. What has to be broken before you can use it? Is that a joke or a riddle? I think that's a riddle. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a riddle, yeah. So again, what has to be broken before you can use it? Answers in the comments. I will reveal the answer on the next episode. But yeah, Tua. I think a comment we got in the last video. Shout out to Don Johnson. He said, Lawrence over Tua any day. Put Lawrence in the situation Tua's in right now. Tua can't be good teams in the regular season. And and other people have said that Tua doesn't win when it matters. And I always feel like saying, well, when doesn't it matter? Like, it's the NFL. Every week matters. It's not. And again, this is in no disrespect to, baseball, basketball, get sports where there's like over 100 games, and you can start 0-3 and no one bats an eyelid because you have so many games to catch up on. Like, the Marlins are doing awful right now. They're probably not going to make the postseason. But when they lost the first game of the season, no one was like, "But that's their season done." And obviously, if the Dolphins lose the first game of the season, no one is saying that that's the season done. But you don't want to be below 500 because getting above 500 is so difficult in this league. So to say that Tua only wins when it doesn't matter, well, that's just a lie because it matters every single week. And we can turn around and say that, Tua's beaten a really good Ravens team. He's beaten a really good Bills team. Would I like him to beat more good teams? Well, yes, but when we put 70 on the Broncos, no one called him a bad team. People were like, yo, this is a Russell Wilson-led Broncos, which no one expected us to do that to. It's not the Dolphins' fault that when we play teams, they had a record below 500. That's not the Dolphins' fault.
Also, I mean, a lot of those teams ended up below 500 because they lost a game against the Dolphins.
Yeah,
but I think there's an interesting point. Like, if we want to compare him to Trevor and say that if you put Trevor Lawrence in the offense, that he would do better, that's fine. But you're not getting Trevor Lawrence because you've got Tua. So he's going to stop you from getting a Trevor Lawrence. So if you want to replace him with a Trevor Lawrence, you've got to tank all over again. Right? So because the equation's not that. Those guys aren't hitting the market, right? They're getting paid, but they're not hitting free agency. So it's not a case of, okay, well, we'll just go and plug in Justin Herbert. If you think Justin Herbert's better, that's absolutely fine. But you're not getting Justin Herbert. You're taking your chance in the lottery that is the NFL draft again. So your question is, do you want to pay the guy that you've got, or do you want to play the lottery again?
And again, listen, people are genuinely, because they get that. Your opinion is your opinion. In the nicest way possible, it's not that deep because at the end of the day, what we say makes no difference.
Wait, you mean Chris Greer's not listening to us?
Charlie. If Charlie was here, yeah. We all know Charlie's got, Chris Greer's number, but I don't. I never got that benefit. So
we know that it's Charlie's fault that Xavier Howard's no longer on the team, right?
I think what Xavier Howard's been up to recently, I think we can all say thank you very much for that, Charlie. But no, I just think people are gonna. No, we speak on the phone quite a lot. One thing we say quite a lot is people are going to lose their mind when Tua signs that contract, and it's going to be brilliant to watch. From a podcaster point of view, that episode is going to get amazing numbers because everyone's going to want to to hear about it and stuff like that. But for the most part, I just think it's a case of let's see the terms of the deal before we completely lose our minds.
If you think about the way things are now and the way Tua makes people react to each other, just the conversation about it, and you think about that kind of scale from one end to the other, where you've got kind of people who are completely against having Tua and people who are 100% committed to Tua. When he gets paid, that scale is just going to go like that, a stretch even further, because the people who are a diehard Tua fans and say, see, that proves that we were right. And the other people are going to say, oh my God, we've made such a terrible mistake now. based on this. So it's not really going to change anything. It's just going to amplify it.
Ultimately, it's a matter of it's not our money.
Oh yeah,
and also, like you said, when other guys start getting contracts and the cap goes up and their money goes up, that Tua contract starts sliding down before you know it, he's the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league. And if he is the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league, it means the league has some very, 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 very good quarterbacks, up and coming. Because, spoiler alert, try and find 10 quarterbacks in the league right now better than Tua Tagovailoa. Good luck with that.
I'm interested to know your answer to this. So, for people who don't want to pay Tua, which again is absolutely fine, the Dolphins decide not to, in my hypothetical here, and he holds out come the start of camp. Do you feel better because the Dolphins have not paid this guy and he's not at camp? Because essentially we know this is going to hurt the team come the start of the season. He's within his rights to do it, but are you so adamant against paying him that you would rather go into the season with a problem at quarterback? Because at this time of year, we can't do anything about it. This is like your options are pay him or go through the disgruntled quarterback situation.
It's going to be interesting. Shout out to B Rob, says fins up, welcome. And then also had a few comments on Twitter, aka X. Fish Tank Hank says on Conor Williams, if he's it's simple. If he's still hurt, no. If healthy, yes. And then J Doe alias Mike says, yeah, if he's good to go, very solid player. And let me just make sure I'm not missing anything over on Twitter as well. Guys, thanks for the comments on Twitter. Greatly appreciated. You're also more than welcome to join us on YouTube. That way I will not miss your comments when they drop. But no, there were no other comments. So again, no, that is me. Right. That's a me issue. Anyway, guys, like I said, B-Wop says, if the medical staff approves roll the dice, moving back to guard. I think that'd probably be not my favorite option because, again, if he there's definitely an option or an argument to be made that you keep that continuity with Conor Williams and Tua. You don't have to go through the growing pains of a new center and a new center and quarterback. And I also think it's why I would have drafted a center back 2 seasons ago. I know we have a lot of holes, but had you drafted a center, you've got Tua's gap in the next 10 years. But it is what it is. Guys, we are heading over to Patreon to talk about Conor Williams. 5-Yard League. Before we do that, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me at the Dolphin UK podcast and 5-Yard League on X. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you are a very, very simple guy. But yes, to everyone in the comments, thank you very much. To everyone listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, again, greatly appreciated. Leave a 5-star rating, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. But until the next time, we shall see you soon. Peace.